The steamy parts of every Bridgerton season are always the most exciting, but not all the main leads can face all the heat from such scenes. However, a clause in Nicola Coughlan's contract might affect some of her scenes, and there are so many juicy details regarding that for you to unpack. From Daphne and Simon to Kate and Anthony to Penelope and Colin, Bridgerton has continued to keep fans glued and shaken whenever spicy scenes take over the screen. It's almost like a strict rule every leading cast must be ready for, and they have to give their best to it. So why none of the main cast could escape this agreement so far? Nicola Coughlan managed to slip a little condition into her own contract, and it wasn't convenient for the production as we unravel it all soon. Firstly, you should know that Nicola, who portrays Penelope, was mostly worried about the mirror and carriage scenes as soon as season 3 was announced. Filming for a hit series like that meant she would bring on a side of her talent that viewers had never seen before, which scared Nicola. And she explained, saying, "There's a scene in the carriage, and it's just if they're sort of arguing and then it all gets very romantic, shall we say, but I think it will be such a good scene in the show. It terrifies me to think of filming, but I think it would be really great." Interestingly, Nicola got into it and revealed that they broke a piece of furniture while filming one of these steamy scenes. However, with her rare spicy contract, you will be surprised to find out how that affects the show, and we are getting to that in a bit. She added that although filming wasn't easy, she had a friend who also doubles as her on-screen romantic partner, Luke Newton, by her side. The sweet thing about Nicola and Luke, who plays Colin in the show, is that they've been friends much longer in real life, and the friendship helped them both to get through the difficult tasks of playing out their bed scenes. The two good friends praised each other for pulling through the steamy scenes, and Nicola said she had so much trust in Luke. Luke added, "There's so much love for Penelope and Colin's relationship, which brings its pressures, but it also really warms me." So their friendship to romance story in the show was very easy to achieve, but it took their real-life friendship to make their performance in Bridgerton stand out. Filming a spicy scene doesn't look as rosy as it does on screen because the cast had to go through embarrassing and awkward moments with each other on set. Nicola spoke about how this happened to them on set when they needed to shoot a romantic scene, which required both Penelope and Luke to stare into each other's eyes affectionately, but it was so awkward for them to do so as they kept laughing embarrassingly. Luke then said he was grateful to have experienced that with Nicola, whom he has been friends with for almost 5 years, because it wouldn't have been easy with a new person he's just getting to know, and that's because they could genuinely support and watch out for each other during the filming of those spicy scenes, and the safety they both felt showed how much they trusted each other. The love between these two friends doesn't just come to life when they are on Bridgerton alone. They have both constantly supported each other in their everyday lives. In 2023, Nicola showed the world how Luke is so special to her while celebrating Luke's first time in the West End Theatre. She captioned a picture of them on Instagram saying, "Smashing it up on the London stage, and I'm so proud, you're the best." And this support got even better on set with Luke and Nicola watching out for each other during the steamy moments. But that wasn't enough to stop Nicola from slamming Bridgerton with a special contract that could alter fans' expectations in season 3. When Bridgerton first started, many fans thought Nicola was in her late teens or early 20s, not because her character was around the same age, but because the actress looked pretty much around that age. And with that belief, many wondered how it would be convenient for the actress to film the extra romantic scenes in Bridgerton once it got to her turn. But then fans recently discovered that Nicola isn't in her early to mid-20s, as she's 37 years of age, and the internet is going crazy. People are amazed that the young actress could be close to being 40 already, and are beginning to argue about what could have made her look so young. Although Nicola has been acting for a long time, she recently became even more famous with her role in Derry Girls and Bridgerton, so most fans didn't see her grow into her career. However, many insist they know what has made Nicola look like she's still in her 20s by revealing that her round cheeks are a big factor. But then some other fans think there's still more to this, and they would like to know the secret of her not looking like her age. Interestingly, with the fans now updated about Nicola's age, they are glad she can get around Bridgerton's sensitive scenes on her terms, which doesn't even fully explain the clause in her contract as we get into all of that now. Also, fans are wondering how Shonda Rhimes was able to cast a 37-year-old adult as an 18-year-old in Bridgerton perfectly without fans even realizing it. And all that shows how Shonda knows the right cast from the beginning and carefully selects them to make up for the story no matter its direction. But the crazy thing about this is that despite Nicola being 37 years old, she doesn't want some of her private scenes in Bridgerton to get out. According to the actress, she included a contract to make Bridgerton produce the PG-rated cut of her spicy scenes and not go too extreme into the details. But the thing is that this isn't for the viewers, but for her family, especially her parents. So, while fans expect to see Nicola perform wonders in her mirror and carriage scenes in season 3, she took a step ahead to ensure her parents wouldn't have to sit through that. The actress said, "It's literally written into my contract. People think I'm like saying it as a joke. I just don't want to. I grew up Irish Catholic. That's just not how we vibe." So, to avoid her parents watching her steamy scenes with Luke embarrassingly, Nicola had to make sure that Netflix does her own special cut suitable for a family get-together. Even before she started filming for season 3, Nicola knew she had to take this step because her parents weren't very happy seeing what the cast did in seasons 1 and 2, knowing their daughter was a part of it. She explained her mother's reaction to Anthony undressing in the show, saying, "When she first saw Bridgerton, she didn't know it would be saucy, and then you get Jonathan Bailey's lovely bottoms about 2 minutes into the first episode, and she was like, 'What is this?'" Later, her mother would think about that scene and realize it was funny, but then she wouldn't want her mom to experience the same shock on seeing her performance, especially since she also mentioned that they broke a piece of furniture while doing the steamy act, which her parents would be traumatized to see. So it's safer if they don't know such exists, but still get to see her playing a wonderful character without the spicy part. But her parents don't know that even in some of those romantic scenes, Nicola is wearing heavy joggers under her pretty Regency-era dress to protect herself from the cold. With this revelation, fans have realized it's possible to get a different cut that doesn't involve the romantic scenes, and they wonder why the option for a PG-rated version isn't available on the streaming platform. Many families love to see a hit series like Bridgerton together with their teenage children, and it gets uncomfortable to watch when spicy scenes pop up, which is more like the concern Nicola has. However, this cut isn't a choice anyone can have access to, and Nicola is an exception because she's the star of season 3 and has a signed contract to get the best deal out of it. Funnily enough, Nicola never knew she would be in a show like Bridgerton, where she would be too embarrassed to show her family her full performance, as the actress has always tried to go for a more family-friendly show. So before Bridgerton, Nicola tried to get the role of Robin in Stranger Things by auditioning for it, but she never got it. But she's grateful for the experience because she learned more about the roles that suit her more. However, her parents would have been more glad to see her fighting demons in the Upside Down than her getting spicy inside a carriage in Regency-era Bridgerton. Shortly after she couldn't get into Stranger Things, Nicola was more than happy to land a role in Derry Girls Bridgerton and Barbie, which has changed her life ever since. However, this breakthrough is still very recent, so Nicola wants her family to be a part of all of her journeys, even if it means getting a special contract to make that happen. But the actress still has other worries besides covering up her spicy acts in Bridgerton. According to Nicola, she's extremely scared of being fired from the show or going broke because she just escaped debts and was on minimum wage before luck shined on her. During an interview in 2022, she said, "The fear of having nothing is still there. I was in debt with student loans, working minimum wage, and the rent was so high. I only got Derry Girls 5 years ago, so it's not long since I've been able to go and buy a coffee and not have a panic attack." But then, as long as the paycheck keeps coming in, she will keep protecting her family and herself, even if it means standing her ground on a rare condition in her Bridgerton contract.